Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Obsessive Compulsive Gaming. I am the Obsessive Compulsive Gamer, and this is my review for BROKENLORE UNFOLLOW. So dear viewers, this particular video game released, well, today. And just like that beautiful bearded bastard Barry Bertrum, you're probably wondering,
what is this?
This is a first-person psychological horror video game thingamajig, and the latest entry in the BROKENLORE series of video games. A series of, before this one anyway, very short little bite-sized horror experiences, each with their own individual story. This time, this game explores the dark side of social media and its impact on mental health. We play as Anne, a young woman haunted by the trauma of bullying, trapped in a surreal nightmare where she must confront sinister creatures and uncover hidden truths. So dear viewer, let's quickly review this horror video game the only way I know how, badly. And let me start off by telling you what I actually liked about the game. This being a horror game, I did find it to be especially terrifying for me. More jump scares than you would find in a Jack-in-the-Box factory. A very unnerving soundtrack. Not to mention the fact that playing in first person always unnerves me in these horror video games. For better, and we'll talk about later for worse, this is also the longest BROKENLORE video game that I've played so far. That means it's got an expanded story, as well as several locations that we get to explore and get the shit scared out of us in. A house, a school, the inside of a monster's vagina. Maybe not that last one, but there is a location in the later stages of the game that was definitely very icky and fleshy and I also think this game did an absolutely splendid job in tackling some very sensitive subject matter, especially to yours truly. Bullying, a lot of focus on mental health here, feeling unfulfilled in your life, longing to be someone else who maybe has the success that you yourself don't have. We also see the impact that poor Anne's mental health has on the relationship she has with not only her mother or her friends, but with her very own boyfriend. And like the other BROKENLORE games, this game also features lots of collectibles for you to find and several endings. So if you're looking for a ooky, spooky video game that's going to jump scare you every now and again, this might just be the very video game for you. But now it's time for me to discuss what I don't enjoy so much about this game. And please note, dear viewers, that a lot of these critiques that I have probably only apply to myself. I personally, though I found the game to be rather scary, as my playthrough was progressing, I found myself feeling more and more, well, sad. I related a lot to the central character in this game. I won't go into too much detail about that. No one needs to hear about all my problems. But let's just say that eventually the game stopped scaring me, and it simply started to trigger me. I started to feel incredibly sad, a little bit depressed, and quite frankly, I simply stopped enjoying the game. So much so that I had to stop reading all of the notes you find in the game, because most of them talk about Anne's mental state and rather sad things that are going on. A shorter horror experience I probably could have handled with very little problems. But like I've already said, dear viewers, this is the longest BROKENLORE game yet, and it took me about 3.5 hours to get through it, and I did putting aside the little issues I personally had with the game, I did find that it went on for far too long. The game was starting to reach a point that I myself was thinking, oh, this must be the end of the game. Okay, there was a kind of sort of boss fight. And I thought, oh, okay, that was pretty scary. Decent story. It's still going. Cut to about an hour and a half to 2 hours later, and when I finished this game, I had well and truly had enough of it. So much so that for the last 45 minutes, an hour or so before I actually finished the game, I was kind of just begging for it to be over. And like I said, this is probably a me problem. But sometimes you can relate to a video game just a little bit too much. So instead of ultimately enjoying my experience, I just felt kind of hollow, empty, in need of a tissue. Therefore, I declare that BROKENLORE UNFOLLOW was not for me. But if you're a horror fan, then it very well might be for you. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, another review by yours truly. If you enjoyed this little review of mine, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't enjoyed it, well then feel free to give me a thumbs down. But please remember the single most important thing I always tell you, dear viewer, and that is to always stay obsessed with gaming. Are you still here? Oh, you must have really enjoyed this video then. In that case, you had better subscribe to the channel and check out our other content. Otherwise, you're a booby pants, and no one wants to be a booby pants.